Let's go.
Yes.
Satan. Go.
I'm not even surprised
Do it.
anymore.
Do it.
Good day,
Do
welcome to. Welcome to Heroes and Generals Devstream number 61, live from Copenhagen. I'm Reto Gargamel, and with me is Reto Redbjarne, the game director. And today we are talking a little bit about, well, the next build. But we're also...
Update.
Update.
It's called an update.
Yes. It's wow. It's probably the first time I slip like that.
Got you.
We don't say build because it confuses people. It's coder speak, but yeah, it's an update. So the B update, and we've been through all the all the general names we could think of. So now we're going to move on to heroes. So the build is going to be named after a hero.
Yeah.
And the forum has provided us with a whole list of suggestions.
Long list of suggestions.
Yeah, a long list of heroes starting in B. We picked a few, so we're like going to look at the ones that we've been considering. I might, before we get started though.
Is there actually is there a prize or something for people who have picked the right one, the one we choose? Or is there no?
That's not a question I can answer. This is a question that maybe Robotron can
Robotron
answer.
maybe he can write it in the chat for people to see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, but there was something we wanted to announce before that. Actually, look at me improvising. We just had a meeting where we were discussing how we could maybe manage to improvise less in our Twitch sessions. And one of the conclusions that we drew is maybe we should ask you what you would like to see in these Twitch episodes.
Yeah.
So I think again, Robotron will open a forum thread.
I think so. I think
so.
That was sort of like the but
we just walked out of that meeting. So and so eventually there will be a forum thread, and people can make suggestions about what would you like to see, what would you like us to show you or talk about, what should we talk about in these.
Yeah, because it's hard for us to know what is actually popular topics and what is not.
And we're never we were still kind of trying to figure out who is watching. Is it the old school hardcore players, or is it somebody who just walked in? Yeah. Who's there? Who's represented in bigger numbers?
Yeah.
We're kind of trying to see if we can maybe adjust our formula here to make something that you want to see.
Yeah, and so it actually also gives us the chance to maybe plan a little bit more ahead of what we are going to show.
Like today, it's going to be a little bit short because again, it's one of those weeks where we're just what we call feature locked. We just basically put a lid on what's going to make it into the next update. So now we're entering the testing phase. It's always the part of the cycle where we can't really show you what's coming. We know what's coming, but we want to make sure that it gets approved and it gets added it gets into the changelog before we can really show it to you.
Goes into testing.
It goes into after the true. It's not the changelog that decides if it.
That's actually also when people start to work on new stuff that is supposed to go into the next update.
How do you call the feature creep? Right.
No, the feature creep is the stuff that gets put into the game after the feature log.
Okay, that's another thing.
Stuff that's not scheduled, the stuff that's not in the changelog. That's the feature creep.
But that officially does not exist.
It does not. Blixen usually detects it and puts it in the changelog to reveal it.
So I might actually, before we get into the names thing, there is a forum thread I want to mention every time until people are tired of hearing about it. There is this new forum thread called known design issues and developer feedback. And you have all this. Actually, I've been scrolling a little bit fast here, but you can find it in the forum news and updates section. So so known issues and developer feedback. If you have any questions about, for example, first one here, like joystick support, Can I use a joystick with the game? When are you going to add more factions? All those questions that keep coming back week after week, especially in our chat here. So if you go to the forums, you will probably find, maybe the answer to your question if you think it's something that is really important, and why isn't it in the game already? Well, the answer is probably there.
Yeah, and the thing about us putting it into the forum like this is that we review this list on a weekly basis, on both on obviously new stuff that comes in from the game being out there, and also from us actually fixing stuff or making decisions on should this be fixed or not, or should we do something about this. So this list will be updating constantly. So if you subscribe to it, you'll get a notification every time it's been changed.
And so I think the thread itself is locked. Yeah, exactly. So there's no replying to the thread directly, but you can always ask the questions elsewhere, and somebody, if it's a question that we find needs to go in there, we'll add it.
Yeah.
And I'll keep the rest for later. So let's dive into maybe the names that have been suggested to us. Actually, I'm going to go to the forum thread where people have made their suggestions. It's this one here. So it's just called Name for B Update, and if we scroll down, there was like this gigantic list of suggestions, and wow, I just realized now I forgot to add the pictures of Charles Bronson. Oh, I'll find them on the web. I remember what movies to look for. Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, people suggested Charles Bronson, and I think it's a cool thing. He was in the army. But he's more, famously known for being in the army in movies. but it's kind of cool.
Didn't do any heroic thing.
Yeah, and people would say like, "Oh, Bronson is not even his real name; it doesn't count as B." But yeah, his real name was Buczynski.
Okay.
He was from a Lithuanian family, so he didn't even speak English until he was a teenager. But he's American.
All right.
But yeah. All right. But anyway, let's start with
Charles Bronson.
The ones that so we got this one. I mean, as far as soldiers starting with B, he's one of the most well-known
I think
Americans.
So, yeah.
He's one of the main characters in the Pacific, if you've seen the Pacific. So the Medal of Honor that he got was for holding off hordes of Japanese infantry with basically a broken machine gun nest, and basically had no food, didn't sleep, didn't eat for 3 days, just So John Basilone, and he died at the Iwo Jima landing in 1945. So that one of the candidates. There's this guy, Ludwig Bauer. Mm-hmm. And I think you've heard about this one, right?
Yeah, I haven't read into all of them, but obviously the Barcelona guy I know because of the movies. And this one guy
he escaped from 9 burning tanks.
Yeah, he's like tank escape ace, I would call it. And he also had like his last apparently one of his last things was that he went on the recon mission in the tank, and went to sleep in the tank apparently. And when he woke up, he was like crawling with Americans on top of the tank. They thought it was abandoned. And then he just started up and started running them over, and started heading back to the German lines. And he got hit like 3 times by a bazooka. And in the end, at the German lines, he got wasted by the Germans instead. And he again jumped out of a burning tank. So I think that's kind of awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So that's Ludwig Bauer. These guys, they're not technically soldiers, but they really are heroes. I mean, I've always loved the underdog stories. So the Bielski brothers, there's also been a movie about them. It's Defiance with Daniel Craig. And these guys survived in the woods, hunted by Germans. They did sabotage missions. Basically, they managed to tough it out. They decided, we're not gonna die. So they spent the whole war in the forest in Belarus with people trying to find them and kill them, and they saved 1,000 people. There were like civilians. So that the Bielski brothers, also pretty awesome story. But they kind of, again, like they have a mix of, you look at their equipment on the picture, you can see they have like Soviet rifles, German rifles, Soviet SMGs. They just picked up whatever they could find. So it's kind of nice that people kind of managed to create their own gear from raiding. This one, what's if you can, which is the name is a giveaway, but I put that faction logo, which is not in the game. It's the Free French Forces. So this one, and this is a picture from after the war. So you can, I think that's a general's cap, if I'm not mistaken. But he was, I mean, a decorated hero on the battlefield. He, when the Germans invaded France, he destroyed 2 Panzervier, 11 Panzer III. And he took 140 hits without
140 hits.
None of the hits on his. He had this old French heavy tank that was basically kind of outdated by all the newer technology.
But apparently heavy enough.
The armor was so heavy that he took 140 hits without any of them penetrating. It's mental.
I need to see a picture of that tank.
Yeah, it's one of those.
This one.
Yeah, right.
One. Yeah. I've seen that before.
They look like.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'll try to get the. Yeah, it's called a Char B1. So B1 tank really just means. I'll find. This is a good one. There it is.
Whoa! It looks French.
Yeah, with the little circumflex accent. But the threads are they just
they're weird.
It
weird
looks
threads.
like.
What's the guns?
This whole beast is very. It's like an alien.
It looks nice.
It's like a UFO.
I always love the camo schemes on those French tanks. It's really nice.
Yeah,
it looks classy.
So that's our
40mm, 75mm.
Oh, well, then I moved on to the next one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Richard Bong. We just highlighted him because we thought the name was hilarious. He's an American, but born of Swedish immigrants. So that's Bong for the people who live over there have weird names.
If you go to a certain area of Copenhagen, Bong means something else.
And well, he was one of the first jet fighter test pilots, and so he managed to actually he had a fatal crash the same day as the Hiroshima bombing. So the newspapers, there were like basically 2 headlines: Hiroshima, and then pilot Ace dies in a fatal crash. It's kind of funny though. But when they kind of like shared the headlines with Hiroshima, that's
that's okay.
That means people actually knew who that guy was.
Wow.
Like in those days. So this one, because we had yet to see a Russian Soviet, but yeah, that guy, I think he was Russian. Actually, I'm not sure. Borovik, Andrei. That sounds Russian. Could be.
Sure does.
So, twice hero of the Soviet Union, shot down Infinity planes. Actually, no, I didn't write it down, but it's like he shot down an insane number of enemy aircraft again. And was basically in the air all over the place, wherever the Red Army was. He was flying, escorting bombers, dogfights, everything. So that's all the guys I had time to do a nice little presentation on.
That's crazy. So we're supposed to pick one of these, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to. Do you want to pick it live right now, or?
Yeah, I think actually I have orders to pick one. Let's do it. Let's come back to that a little bit later, and then see what I've come up with, what fits the the update the best.
I think we had also a little document with numbers in it.
Oh yes. That was,
I have not really looked at it.
I have not really looked at them except for the top ones. But let's just take a look at them and
dive into
talk
it.
A little bit about it.
I don't know if I can make this bigger.
Can you move it to the right?
Should get to the right. Yeah, I am in the center.
Just make it float.
So yeah, I'm gonna
Just add a cell next to it.
Oh yeah, that's a better idea. Yeah, I like that one. If I could just get it back. Yeah, check this out. We can do this.
Whoa. Wow.
like, you know, improvised
New
graphic
technology.
design. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
Crazy stuff.
What are these?
These are actually, I think it's what I've been told. Obviously, the numbers around it are very nice to read. These numbers are actually just total kills since the Atoms update,
right,
with every single weapon. So statistically, they don't really say much, but they're fun to look at anyway. So you can see that like this, the Soviet semi-auto rifle is the one that has killed most people.
But again, it's not relative. It's absolute numbers.
It's absolute numbers.
So it doesn't tell you the likelihood that you're going to shoot somebody and and kill them. It tells you how many people total have been shot with this rifle. In that. So basically, if there's more players on one faction,
it's very, very rough, obviously. But the thing is that it's actually fun to see. You can see the.
We had a surge of Soviets at some point, right?
Yeah, maybe that's what did it, because I would expect the 3 semi-auto rifles to be somewhat equal, but they're not.
No, there's like a million more kills for the Tokarev.
It could also mean that, for example, the Germans and the Americans, I don't know, are quicker to change the weapon they use. I don't know. That would be only, so you could say, like speculation.
But so it's mostly to get an idea of what weapon is getting the most action, right? I guess.
Yeah, it's just some fun numbers we took out. Like we do all sorts of weird stats on the weapons, and sometimes it's just we come across this is a fun number. So I think we should make a habit of showing some strange numbers from the game once in a while.
That kind of makes sense that the anti-tank explosives will be used a little bit less. Also,
right? It's harder to use, and but I would expect some of the obviously some of the full auto weapons to have more kills. But again, you have to look at there's simply just more players with the semi-auto rifles, because that's the start out weapon. So it really is hard to use any of this information for anything else than just fun pure numbers. If you want to say something about which one is most effective and stuff, you have to sort of like filter out or at least look at the number of uses as well. And that was what we did with the last time we showed some numbers, where we showed the kills. I think it was something like kills per second or something. It's a strange something, but it actually sums out how often this particular weapon kills somebody.
Which is, I mean, you could get a similar value by dividing by the number of days or the number of
but the other number is obviously derived from people who actually use the weapon and not everybody. So it's more like
per player, kills per second per player.
And that's why it was important for us in the last time to show how big a chunk of players we were looking at. And we were looking at like 20,000 players, and that's enough to make a sort of like a good statistically significant number out of it.
Okie dokie.
Scroll up again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you can see that somehow that's the Soviet anti-personnel mine.
Yeah, it's like
not very popular.
Well, it still gets 12,000 kills by.
Yeah. That means that there's 12,000 cases of somebody who didn't see it.
Yeah,
so that's good actually.
But still, it's I think it's actually the one that's best hidden. I think the thing is, actually, I haven't. It's really, really long time since I've stepped on an anti-personnel mine in the game.
There was a time I remember, like I think 2 years ago, where people were just putting them everywhere.
Yeah.
They were like a more natural cause of death than bullets.
No, I think it's the anti-tank mines that are the fun stuff at the moment.
The pizza.
The pizza delivery service. Yeah, that's fun. But they are actually I prefer to use the anti-tank mines to take out tanks as an infantry rather than the bazooka stuff.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's just I think it's more satisfying to be able to sneak up on a tank and place the mines and then just watch it blow up, rather than just shooting it with the bazooka.
Feels like a prank, I guess. But I don't. I like the challenge of, because the bazooka kind of flies a little bit in an arc,
Yeah.
and
But also, I die a lot by doing it. You have to die a lot. That's good. That's what the whole game is about: dying a lot.
it's actually true.
Yeah, but I think that's one thing. It's
Once you reconcile yourself with the fact that you're gonna die a
yeah,
lot.
but I think it's obviously some war missions just get out of whack in difficulty, but other than that, I think it's most of the battles I've played on live, at least, it seems, even though some missions are hard, it's still a challenge to see how much of a what you call a fight you can put up against a bigger enemy. I've really lucky and I succeeded in blowing up quite a few king tigers with mines, just getting close to them, which is always very satisfactory. But then again, I don't know what's up with it's especially the German tankers that use the king tiger. Why do they roll it so close to the objectives? I don't get it, because it's really dangerous to do that.
They're confident.
Might be too confident, I don't know, but still, the mines you can easily take them out with the mines. So just a good advice to the German tankers: stay away from the infantry, or keep your distance, because the tiger can really hit stuff on a long distance. Even got the double zoom on the gun and stuff. So there really is no reason to put them so close up against the objectives.
So should I close this?
If you feel like it,
I'm
do you
ready.
feel like closing it?
I'm ready. I think everybody got their screen caps. We had a few announcements. There is a video, yes, and yeah, it's. I was gonna say it's not on Twitch; it's on YouTube.
There's a link for it.
There's a link for it, which I'm following now. And so there's this new YouTuber. Actually, there's quite a few new YouTubers that are making videos out there and sharing them. This one is General Torotsky. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so that's his video. Is that he's so basically he's announcing that he's gonna be releasing more videos. I guess I should just do this. Oh, that was a nice,
Can you rerun it?
nice long distance shot. Yes, of course. Got an interesting font going on down there. It's like the text is
spacing
squeezed together. It's I've never seen that before. So there's like not much happening here, but he's promising that he's working on new videos with basically all kinds of various topics. So this guy is going to be, I assume, focusing on some kind of tutorial video. Doesn't really say, but yeah, that's a shout out we wanted to have, and we will be also, I think, posting the names of various Twitchers that are also that have started to broadcast recently. There's a whole bunch of players from the Art of Warfare, TAW, and so that's it's one of the largest clans, I think, right now. But I wouldn't know in terms of size.
I don't know how
who's bigger.
I have no idea. I think the numbers go up and down all the time.
Yeah, right. No, but anyway, but they're you will probably run into them a lot in TAW. We have, I think, quite a few names on our somewhere. I'm sure that Mr. Culling can put that in the caption.
The TeamSpeak channels?
Yes, that's the other thing we wanted to mention, is that there are TeamSpeak channels for each faction. They're public channels, and they're run by our players. So we'll also, I think, put the IP addresses, or just the addresses for it, later on in the caption box.
What was the first thing you were supposed to put there?
The name of the Twitchers. Yeah, right.
YouTubers.
Is it YouTubers or Twitchers? I thought I had. Well, they're streaming actually. But I think I don't know. So on my document, I have their clan homepage address. So it's taw.net. But I don't have the names of the individual Twitchers that we wanted to say hi to. I don't know where that went.
Try and look at I think Robotron is
Is he saying something about that? Yeah, that's what he's saying. So basically, if you visit their clan homepage, I guess they probably mention something about which ones are active on Twitch. And it seems like I have reached the end of my paper.
Yeah, we got the TeamSpeak service put into the chat or something.
In the chat? Yeah, I can do that. Can I? No, you can do that.
I can do it.
Yeah. Do you have the?
I think so.
I could just put the addresses in the other window.
I'll just put it in the chat here.
You have it?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
There's one.
Awesome.
And there's one more here. Gonna go copy paste. Here you go. And there's the next one. Boing.
So those are
actually, I think there's a forum thread as well.
If you look at the chat, assuming you're watching us live on Twitch, so Red Biana just posted the addresses for the clan TeamSpeaks. There's and they're also on top of the screen. And again, so you'll find various not channels, but the channels actually. They basically separate their server in different channels so that you can regroup with people who are in the same battle. They basically direct the newcomers, like go to this channel if you want to play this mission and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth trying out.
Yeah, it's a completely different experience. If you're on TeamSpeak, you actually get to plan your tactics a little bit more thoroughly, and you get to basically see through the eyes of your teammates what's going on. So it's always an advantage. Sometimes people they look like they know everything that's going on the map. Probably they're on TeamSpeak. So, I think we've exhausted our material for today. We've gone through it, but we did warn that it was going to be short.
But maybe I can take a few questions if you want. But actually, there's one thing I need to come up with I need to decide which one of those heroes.
Yep. Yeah. You want to do that?
Yeah.
So. Which one is it going to be? So should we run through them again?
Yeah.
So again, just
that's Mr. Barcelone.
So Mr.
Always a good hero.
Ludwig Bauer.
That's Bauer.
Like his face is great.
Hey,
still not dead. The Bielski brothers. Pierre Biot.
And the Bong.
Richard Bong. There was also a guy called Beer. I think he wanted to say Beer Bong. Oh, that's the thing I forgot. I forgot to mention, honorable mention. Death Wish 3. I haven't actually watched the movie, but I've just seen the... wait, I'll find it in...
Death Wish
3. First of all, this is the German poster for the movie. It's fantastic. Ein Mann sieht rot. Death Wish 3. Der Rächer von New York. It's just amazing. And he's wait.
He's gonna love those German subs.
And then wait. Let me. I have to find the picture where he's holding the 1919. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, awesome.
But my face is in front of it. If we can just minimize. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, bitte. There you go. So this is not how you hold a Browning like machine gun, but you know it's a movie. And back in those days, I think in Hollywood they really didn't care. So it's cleaning up the neighborhood. It's awesome. So and he's also in Dirty Dozen, and what's the other one? The Great Escape. But in Dirty Dozen. You see him here.
Did you select a name or?
No names yet.
We're still.
I have it. I have figured out which one it is. I'm just not gonna say it yet.
You don't know, see?
Yeah, but
no, because we have to look at these pictures.
Sure.
They're awesome. So there he is, like infiltrating. I forget what were they doing in Dirty Dozen? They were infiltrating a German castle.
No, that's the Eagle's Nest thing, isn't it?
They also did the same thing in Dirty Dozen.
Oh,
I'm thinking
those Germans, they just build castles
all over the place.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you haven't seen that, that's actually one of the first kind of Inglorious Bastards style, completely unrealistic action movies, but it's worth seeing. It's quite funny. So this being said, wait, we haven't been through the whole, have we?
We have been through everything.
Through the whole everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. The last one.
Yeah. I am going to pick for the B update is going to be named Bauer.
This guy?
Yes, Bauer.
Yeah, he looks like a nice guy.
I think the escaping from burning tanks is just always cool, so that's just no contest there. That's great. Bauer is going to be the name of the next build.
Yeah.
Update.
Yep.
Update. God damn it.
Bauer.
Yeah. I think actually you should go on the web and start reading a bit of his history. It's quite interesting. What's the time? 44. Should we take a few questions from the chat and then wrap it up?
Go back to making the game.
That's up to you. Should we take some questions or should we
it's up to you.
go back and make the game? Let's see what they say.
Yeah, frisk.
Oh, now they think it's rigged. God damn it.
It's what? It's rigged?
Yeah.
It can't possibly be.
I'm gonna take some questions then. The Pitbull 973.
Before you answer, when you want to ask questions to Red Bjarne, you can actually write in the chat, write at Red Bjarne. Not even at, just write Red Bjarne. Just mention his name, and then the question gets highlighted for him.
Yeah, otherwise I won't see it because it just goes straight out of this. So yeah, but Pitbull is asking a quick question about the weapon drop. What is the logic behind which weapon you drop when you die? Is it weapon in slot 1 or is it based on weight or some other criteria? I think, and this is one of the things where I'm not 100% sure, but I
don't know.
I think it's the weapon that has the highest equipment cost that gets dropped. That is the one that gets picked as the main weapon.
So not the one with the most ammo left.
No. But Oxen will probably correct me and say I lied if it's not correct.
Right.
So, but that's at least what I think is the logic. Last time I checked,
it would make sense.
It's not that it's the one in the slot 1 or something like that. It's based on the sort of the main weapon you drop.
Trying to remember here because like it's not something you really notice when you die. You like have just a fraction of a second to see if there's a weapon that's being dropped, right?
It's more like people picking up.
That's what I mean. But when you pick a weapon up, you don't always know, exactly what the guy's loadout is supposed to look like.
You don't know.
But what I'm saying is that when you pick up a weapon, that's not yours.
Yeah.
If you die, do you drop that one?
Yeah. No. You drop your own. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So you drop your own, right?
Mm. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yes.
I think you drop your own.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not certain because it's hard to check.
We could drop everything.
Yeah.
It's just
like in those old role-playing games, you die and you have like a pile of items where you died.
Or just to empty your magic pockets. I remember when in Dungeons and Dragons there was this cool item called a bag of holding. There's like, and you could just like, that was one of those items you could just like make up your own version of it. It's like a black hole where you just like could put all sorts of shit down in. I actually remember there was one thing where one adventure I played where that bag of holding had a certain chance of being like a portal to hell or something like that instead of just a bag of holding. So you just put down your hand
and you stick your hand and then you pull out a Caco demon.
That's just awesome.
Look, you reminded me of something where there it is. It's been around the internet a lot, but this diagram. I'll be back.
This one?
Yeah, this diagram has been a lot. It's been seen a lot. Wait. Bag of holding. There it is. This is awesome. Look at that. It's the arrowhead of total destruction. So. I mean, I've never really played Dungeons & Dragons, but I like this concept. So you put a bag of holding, and you have also there's a spell somewhere in there that contains a portable hole, so that when you fire this arrow, basically it stuffs your enemy into a bag of holding, and then the bag of holding falls into a portable hole, so they can never get out.
That's a cool thing. Yeah, the portable hole is actually one of those things. A really cool item as well. That is just awesome. I remember when playing, we used to put all sorts of shit down in that hole just to see what the DM would say about, well, how if we do this? Can we sleep in this bad hole? What happens if I just put my friends in this hole and carry them to the... That was awesome.
So, did you have another question?
I think so. There's lots of questions here. I'm just going to cherry pick the ones I can care to answer. Why not use the questions from the forums, says Karl Heinze. Simply because I'm not on the forums right now. I'm checking the chat, and it's much more fun to get the questions directly from the chat.
No, that's true. I was gonna say we'll be doing another Q&A.
We're gonna do it
after the Bauer update is released.
Yeah. When will you show off stuff from the B build, says Drugs and Hogs?
When it's approved.
Yeah, I think we're going to show it as soon as we have something that is sort of like a semi-greenlit, I guess, from the test guys. Mm-hmm. You can nag Robotron about it when he's going to decide what to show on the streams and not.
You don't deserve that.
Sorry. Ask Gargamel about it.
Because you're like, I know everything, right? I showed that last time.
Yeah.
Should have a T-shirt that says Jon Snow.
Can you make just Jens Kleik is asking, can you make shift bicycling more useful? And
he wants to sprint on a bicycle. And there was a time when you sort of could, right?
Yeah.
But I forgot the reason why sprinting on a bicycle makes no sense, but it kind of doesn't, right?
I totally forgot that as well.
There was a we
have Splixen running the show now.
Yeah,
actually, Reto Colling just he had to leave early today.
He deserted.
And mighty Splixen has taken over the control panel behind the camera, and obviously he knows everything as well. So obviously. He is like a brain of holding that just sucks everything into it.
The bike's already doing 30 kilometers an hour, so
it's fast enough.
If we put it on sprint also, it will just be OP. So
fuck! We can.
But they have the animation for sprinting. We're not doing anything.
And I was even thinking at one point we should add like an EPO badge.
A what?
EPO.
EPO. What's an EPO?
You have have you ever watched Tour de France?
Not really. Bits of it. Oh, EPO is one of those steroids things? Yeah, okay. Oh, I get it.
It's the drug that everybody who is like professional uses, apparently. In bicycling, at least.
Yes. That makes perfect sense. I used to go to the gym when I was in my first year of university. I haven't seen the inside of a gym since, but there was these two guys who used to walk in all the time. They were like just completely ripped, but they were very short dudes, but very ripped.
Yeah.
And I looked at them. I was like, they must be like steroids or whatever. And one day, like one of them started working with me completely like random. I met him again, and we ended up working together.
Yeah.
And I couldn't resist asking, like, dude, is this steroids? What you like? How did? And he says, no, I just train a lot. And I was like, wow, but like you really like. And he had like his stopwatch, but he had his phone would ring, and he would go, "Oh, it's time for me to take my 20 grams of proteins." And it was like he had like very strict. And I asked him like, "Why are you so dedicated and like being so ripped?" And he's like, "Because I'm this it wasn't this short, but when you're short, like you're invisible to girls unless you're." that was the answer. And I thought like Stallone and all the
Yeah.
it's kind of short dudes with like lots of.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. So, but they're not all on steroids. The guys that are like.
No.
Mountains of muscle.
I was not talking about the muscle guys. I was talking about the bicycling guys. Because those guys are definitely on drugs. All of them.
Did I drift or what though?
Yeah.
There was like good
You're
drifting.
picking up the art of drifting. Yeah. Now we're talking about bicycling.
Are there any questions?
We even in Denmark we have several famous bicyclists who have been in the Tour de France, and even one of them actually, several of them won, and they all got caught for using EPO and all sorts of other stuff. But there was one guy that was never winning, called Ralph. And it's sort of like a standing joke in Denmark. We call him Ralph is clean. Ralph. Because he was never been caught in cheating. And I think it's a year or something ago he came out, I also took drugs. So he was like, goddamn. He was just, Ralph Arén, he was just hated himself each time that was mentioned.
Why did you break everybody's dreams?
Oh my God.
Wow, that's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of questions here.
We should have read them.
There's Snooker saying, shotguns, Panther, bipods. No.
No.
Next question.
Yes, maybe.
Is the Gerard Bakker 3037 is asking, is the mountain town map getting the same improvements as the town map?
That's updated? A very good question.
Yes, it is. I am actually working a bit on multiple maps improvements. Obviously, some of these things are where you take the whole map apart, and if I'm not done with the stuff when the feature lock goes down, I will just keep it checked out. You can see, so I'm not committed until it's ready. So some of these improvements actually.
So you're kind of like working on it on the side, and when it's ready, it gets put into
the span on several updates. So, but it is definitely the idea. Yeah, because that's what I'm working on to update the other terrain types as well.
With your new terrain on French Village, I mean the difference is like very noticeable now. It's a completely different style of.
And I have a third terrain type in the works as well that I'm working on. So new stuff is definitely coming, but obviously.
How's that going, by the way?
It's okay. I think we soon should be able to have a PlayStation on some of the stuff internally, obviously. Not you guys.
I'm so afraid of like if I name it, it's such a spoiler. It's like everyone's like, what about the?
Yeah.
So spoil. I was gonna say spoilers ahead, but we're not gonna spoil it. So
no.
Surprises ahead.
Let's see if there's some other interesting questions here. Oh, when are you guys going to fix the vehicle exhaust showing up as white smoke when you're looking through the tank cockpit window? I know that. I actually sent that on as an asked our animator Colin about this, and I think I have no answer for it, but I know that the rendering guys are discussing this stuff, and I think it's something technical with the way you draw transparencies and everything. It's not. It might be a bug. It might also be like a technical limitation of multiple layers of transparency.
What you got there? These are not questions, it's a wish list.
Come on, guys, you can come. More interesting questions.
And again, if you're wondering about what's going to happen to this or that weapon or vehicle, look at the list of known issues, developer feedback. We do mention a few of those.
Could you include the remove shadows button in the near future for people with FPS lag?
There's a good reason why no, because in the New Garden or the Manstein update, and I think I even wrote, yep, it's on the blog.
Sorry, it's fellow gamer 13 who's asking this question.
Let me just get it here. It's easier to just show it, and what was it? I think it was New Garden.
Mm-hmm.
So the New Garden build was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where was it? It's not far. Low quality render. There it is. So there was a time when if you set your let me just do this. Whoop. Can we have it in? That's the full screen. The other one was closed. So that was it. So if Splixon can maybe minimize the our faces.
Shrink our faces.
There you go. So that was the Manstein update. Again, it was somewhere in 2014. And 13?
14.
I forgot. No, it's 14. Yeah. So when you set your graphics to low quality, it would also disable shadows.
Yeah.
And it would make it so. I mean, I illustrated this by putting there's an infantryman hidden in every picture, and in the first one you immediately see the outline of your target because there's no shadows. So it's not a minor thing; it's a major.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things where it's always hard to deal with,
like to make it fair for everybody.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be able to just turn down the graphic quality, and then the game will become easier. It should almost be the opposite, but still, it obviously we aim to make it like fair for all computers. But it is kind of like a difficult thing to do, because it's sort of like a balance between. How much can you see the guy, and how much can't you see the guy, and how much does it take away from the immersion, and how much does it actually improve your frame rate? Obviously, the frame rate is the most important thing in a multiplayer game. But if it gives you an unfair advantage, then it's no good. I think it's the same thing as the good old talk about the smoke grenades and all that stuff as well. Mm-hmm. That we had some problems with the effects at some point where explosions had massive overdraw. So people would actually count on them slowing down everybody's computers when you were close to an explosion.
So you just spam bombs.
Bad computers just freak out, and then you would actually have an advantage because people would not do anything because their frame rate was choking. And I think that's that's obviously not fair. But it still is one of those things that are fairly hard to, or at least it's somewhat. It's not an easy fix.
So.
I remember in the good old Quake days, when you had competitive gaming, everybody would just turn off textures and everything to low quality because the game was just running much better and your opponents were a lot more visible against the background graphics than if you ran high quality. So. Interesting question, but and it's not easy. It's not easy to fix.
Mm-hmm. So we have time for one more. Or?
Should we take one more question
one more?
and then make it call it a day? Because then we actually we started a little bit late, so it's okay to.
Fair enough.
Give it a few more minutes. Why do you, as Robocop 23, why do you guys keep avoiding to comfort the fact that we need a Panzerfaust specialist ribbon?
Panzerfaust specialist ribbon, but there's a Panzerschreck specialist 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 ribbon.
What would you?
But because it's not a weapon that you can have in your loadout.
No, it's a pickup.
It's a pickup weapon only. So if
but
you,
it's a good question. If you could come up with stuff that it should unlock, then it would make sense to add
because
it.
that's the question really. What would it do? What would it do?
We add specialist ribbons to all things where you can actually unlock stuff that you can modify. We don't have a motorcycle specialist ribbon either, for example, because you can't do anything with it. Other than see how far you've driven on the motorcycle. As soon as if you add something where you can tweak your motorcycle and tune it and stuff like that, it would make sense to introduce the specialist ribbon as well. But I need some hints on what you would use it for,
exactly.
other than just I'm level 12.
It's interesting. The tone of the question was very accusatory, as in like, when will you confront the fact?
Maybe Splixen, have you heard this question before? Wow. Sorry, I missed the question several times apparently, but I wasn't aware that it was a problem that we didn't have a Panzerfaust.
But if the guy has a good reason why you think it's needed,
if you Mr. Fellow Gamer 13 can come up with if you can argue what it should unlock, what should it do, there's perfectly room for another specialist ribbon in this game. So
or maybe he's interested in it just as a way of keeping score. Which kind of makes sense. Yeah. By the way, the scoreboards, the leaderboards. That's classified.
They are coming back at some point.
Right. I was gonna ask like.
And I can safely say that the Oxen have been working a little bit on the new in-game scoreboard as well. That is a nice update for the loss of the ancient F5 menu.
I'm sure, like we have a lot of ancient community members also.
We have F5 menu. We haven't forgotten you.
But the F5 menu is like giving like way too many stats, right? It's like
but some players actually love the fact they can see how many tanks they kill. I think Oxen have been putting in some extra numbers on the new menu, so to sort of like bring some of that back. But it's in relation to the new squad system, where the whole menu needs to be redesigned because it has to show squads, and it also shows resources on the maps and which squad are on which access points and stuff like that. So it was quite an update for the whole in-game map, in-game UI. It also has to the whole menu has been redesigned to show your squad team members and stuff.
Are you gonna get to name your squads?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of work for me. Somebody's gonna have to police those names.
I think the first issue now we had where we just tested it. We have a follow-up meeting on the squad every week, and we actually tested the naming last Tuesday, I think, and it was like using the guy's random generated name and then adding squad to it. The name was this long; it just couldn't fit in the in the menu, so we had to do something, shortening it down or something. Obviously, the suggestion was like squad random number, and that's it. But yes, it'll be possible also to rename the squad, obviously. Nice. So it's going to be fun to see.
It's kind of cool because if you can sort of make a name for yourself, like literally.
Yeah,
you have your squad name, so it doesn't really matter that it's the same guys playing every day, but they could join a squad.
No, it's also there's this thing about the squad system is it's a bit different that you would expect from seeing it in other games. That it's because the game is we would like to focus on a little bit smaller squads and more of them in a battle. So the role of the squad leader will be to sort of like coordinate with other squad leaders. So we won't be able to say, you do this and you do this and you do this. you can, as a squad leader, just say, I can see what other squad leaders are doing, and I can order my men to do one thing. So we will be working together with other squads. If you can see the other squad leader, Burroughs' squad, is attacking, then you can sort of like say to your men, we're going to flank instead. So you cannot do attack and flank at the same point. You have to sort of like work, and that's the main reason for this, is to keep it simple and to emphasize the working together with other players in the game, rather than just having one squad leader with a huge list of commands.
Because I mean it's still there, isn't it? With the binoculars, you still have the commands.
Yeah, we're working a bit, expanding a bit on that part of it.
Yeah.
So we are trying to make it really simple in the beginning, and then we probably would expand if needed. But I think the main thing is actually to have more communication between squad leaders rather than just squad leader to squad. I think that's more interesting gameplay, because to make a whole, especially one of the big war battles, to make them coordinated is actually an effort between all the 18 players on one side. And one player cannot like give orders out to all the 17 other guys, so you break it down into smaller groups.